I think Tobey Maguire has pretty much faded into the sunset.
Well, I mean, he still kind of looks like a baby boy, and he sounds like a baby boy, so it's not like he can do any, like, mature roles.
He needs a rattle and a bottle, and I think he'll be sold.
I think the only time that I think the last movie he went off and did was The Great Gatsby, and they only got into that role because he was, friends with DiCaprio.
So apparently, Amy has a question here for you. She wants to know, and keep in mind, we may not be able to answer this just because maybe it does a spoiler. She wants to know if Jessica Jones's character is in the movie, because in the comic books, she was in a few of the comics.
Jessica, they've made it pretty clear that there is going to be no crossover between the characters from the TV shows and the movies. We're talking about so much as Coulson on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. none of the Avengers know that he's even alive still, as far as I know. I haven't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and
I think he might be dead now.
He might be dead again. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and I think he's around, but whatever.
Dead once, live again, dead again.
And they've made clear that they're not going to cross over the Avengers with the Defenders. So I think it's pretty clear that as much as a lot of us would probably have fanboy and fangirl moments to be able to see some of the crossovers with some of these characters, it's not likely to happen.
No. So no mention of the name, no mention of anything.
No.
Okay. Well, that kind of sucks. But it is what it is. We kind of expected that. Now, going back to the original context of what we're talking about, do you believe the original trilogy was the best?
Okay, again, and I loved the scripts that Sam Raimi wrote, with the exception of how Spider-Man was portrayed. That was, I think, my one serious issue with the first two movies. He went way too dark. Although he did go off and he based Spider-Man 2 around his favorite comic book, story arc from Spider-Man, where he briefly loses his powers and then gets them back, which I thought was absolutely phenomenal. But a lot of that I might, say has to do with Tobey Maguire. Are they the best? I think those two might be the best. I think there's some argument that Homecoming might be on par with them, and part of the reason why I enjoy this so much is, again, we got to see a much more fun-loving Spider-Man in this series, in this movie, and it was about him in high school, so there was the high school angst, and there was stuff that, Stan Lee went off and intentionally put into the character.
Did Stan Lee make a cameo?
He does. He makes a brief cameo in it. It's probably one of his briefer cameos, and it was.
But that's okay. We can go down in history that says that Stan Lee has made an appearance.
Okay, but
in
pretty
Spider-Man.
much. Stan Lee is one of the Watchers. Okay, he goes off and he.
But to this date, he has not appeared in any of the Spider-Man movies.
Yes, he has.
Has he?
Yes,
okay,
he
I
has.
haven't been paying attention.
No, you haven't. I can't tell you exactly every movie that he's been in, but I know in the original Spider-Man, he was a grandfather with a granddaughter who was protecting her when the goblins started knocking buildings around and rubble was falling.
I will have to go back to that and rewatch it because I was not aware of that.
I can't remember any of the other cameos he's had in any of the other Spider-Man movies, but that one sticks out in my head, maybe because I saw a video about it.
Do you believe that Spider-Man Homecoming is piggybacking on the original Spider-Man?
I think it would be hard to argue against that, and here's the reason for this. This is the second time that they have went off and rebooted the series within the last 10 years. And we went off and I will say this, I have a lot of faith in the script writers from Marvel Studios. They are phenomenal writers. This was a phenomenal script. And I think it is on par with what Sam Raimi went off and wrote for the first two Spider-Man movies. Again, I think it was because it was in set in high school. That made it really good because there was a lot of stuff there. I mean, him trying to balance going to school and trying to be a hero and wanting to become an Avenger. And I don't think I'm giving away anything because anybody who's seen any of the trailers will have seen, him going off in some of the conversations he had with Tony Stark in those trailers. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what more I can really say without getting into any spoilers. This was, I think, was a phenomenal movie. I am very interested in seeing where they move forward with this. And I wasn't a huge fan of originally Marissa Tomei playing his aunt, but it was good. I like the way they portrayed her in the movie. I think that they kind of made fun of her her sex appeal a little bit.
Hey, if that's what brings people into the movies, then that is what brings people into the movies. It was
pretty good. I have to say I enjoyed a lot of the. It was very good. So. I think, the fact that, Kirsten Dunst is definitely entitled to her opinion. Again, they were phenomenal movies, but, considering that she had, this, to me, almost sounds like sour grapes, though. From an actress
I definitely think so.
Because in a lot of ways, the Spider-Man movies ruined her career, because she hasn't been able to find anything really decent, and she at one time was touted as being an incredible actress, and this was like a huge role for her. And yet, neither her or, as I said before, neither her or Tobey Maguire really came out of this, smelling like roses.
No, I completely agree. So we're going to take a quick music break now, and we'll come back and talk about our next topic of the night. Thank God
I need the time to take a drink, so I talk too much.
So enjoy this music, and we will be right back. Hey guys, welcome back to the Captain Fizz and Mask Guy show.
The Captain Fizz and Mask Guy show.
That was creepy on so many levels. I love it. So our next topic, of course, is a very simple one. One that everyone has already been aware of is that we will be at EnterCon August 26th, 27th. I actually remember the dates without actually looking it up this time.
We've been pretty much,
There's reasons why I can remember the dates now. I've pretty much had it, drilled into my head. I'm actually in the process of making specialized t-shirts for all our staff for the show. And all of them will have the dates on the show, so it's been drilled into my brain. Which is... I think my fingers are black from the markers and other stuff I'm... from using, and the fumes are wonderful, especially 11 o'clock at night when you're trying to make t-shirts and you forget the fact that you are no longer coloring the t-shirt, you are coloring your hand. That's pretty much when you realize it's time for bed.
Yeah, you've been a busy boy lately. You did not share any of this with me at all. So I show up today, to get ready for, to do the podcast, and I see you stenciling the back of it. Surprise! Stenciling the back of a shirt, and you have all these, little keychain things. And I was supposed to have brought some stickers, because you were going to put the stickers on them, and I don't even know how you're going to... What you're going to do, you can put some sort of adhesive or something over top of them?
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
I think there's a few ideas that I'm going with. One of them is I think I might take a little copper wire and wrap it around the edge. This way it gives it a little bit of a boundary, so to speak, and then pouring Mod Podge on top to make it with a little bubble.
You know what?
Effect.
I'm starting to feel bad because I've been worried about my other hobbies and haven't really helped you out with any of this. This is kind of crazy.
I'm honestly enjoying it. Like the shirts, we're hoping to have a bunch ready for Entercon. It's definitely an uphill battle. Just because I started off with this sewing idea and realized very quickly that I have the fingers of a 90-year-old.
Well, it doesn't help that, that you're working with tires every day and beating your hands up.
But I'm sitting there and I'm trying to sew in a straight line and I'm watching my hand shake and I realized that sewing is not my specialty. So I quickly found another alternative, which was I was going to use some felt and sew it onto the shirt. Now, once again, still involving sewing. So I started chasing out the numbers, or the letters. I cut out the letters. The letters were too small, so I kind of went all Hulk on it and just ripped up the letters. And then I realized that I have these fabric markers that I can easily write everything I want to on the shirts, including the pictures that we're going to be putting on there, which is a mixture of holy crap, I knew what I was going to say. The mix of the Autobots and Decepticon logos on the front of the shirt. So they're going to be like 50-50 for each one. So that's kind of what I'm working on. And there's a lot of process to it. I'm loving it just because I get to embrace my artistic side, which is very rare. And it prevents me from going Pokemon hunting more, which I've realized I may be addicted after this last weekend. So I need that little...
Yeah. You want to go off and explain to people how many raids you went off and did over the weekend?
I did about 20 raids over the weekend. On Saturday, I left the house at about 9:30. I got home at about 2 o'clock in the morning. But that was also because of UFC. On Sunday, I left at 9:30 in the morning again, and I got home about 10-ish. That was all Pokemon. So, yeah, it's crazy, but I'm really looking forward to Endercon. It's literally less than a month away.
Well, yeah, I mean, literally, we're talking, it's a little bit more than 4 weeks away.
Yeah, about
4.5 weeks.
That's over a month.
No, it's not. 4 weeks is... Oh, shut up.
There's 4 weeks in a month. You've gone crazy. So anyways, there's a lot of unique things for Entercon. If you're in Winnipeg and you want to check it out, just go to enter-con.webs.com. That's a little bit of a mouthful.
Just a bit of a mouthful there.
So just kind of to do a little rundown of what to expect at the convention, which is a Transformers convention. Cobra Collectibles will be there, which of course they are at literally everything. Max Collectibles, who are phenomenal people. Don's Prop Shop, which actually we had the luxury of having him as our neighbor.
They absolutely were right next to him. My wife actually purchased a Groot statue from him, which I think she ended up having to move because my son kept trying to pull Groot's head off.
Yes,
which was absolutely adorable.
So yeah,
in a kind of a sick, twisted, demented.
So yeah, we definitely he was our table mate for FanQuest, which was kind of really, really awesome. So Yak and Shadow will be there as well. We actually had I had a lot of conversations with both of them over the weekend of FanQuest. So this is definitely going to be a whole weekend of catching up with people and a lot of everything else. So they're going to have Lovern Kindzerski. That
Gesundheit.
Yeah, that's a mouthful too. And I apologize because I really can't read words very well. So his colors have appeared in many comic books, magazines, including Sandman, the X-Men, Coraline, the Graveyard Book. He's been nominated as Best Colorist for the Eisner Awards, Harvey Awards, social